Hello, everyone. This is Sinema77, horror and cult film lover. I'm back with another movie review. Tonight, we're going to talk about this movie that is not really a horror film, but I definitely think it's going to be a cult film. And I watched this movie. I had a lot of fun with it. We're talking about the movie that's basically called The Road Warrior meets Kill Bill. It's Bounty Killer. This movie came out in 2013, and you have a pretty good cast in here. You got Matthew Marsden, Christina Loken, Kristen Petrie, Barack Hardley, Abraham Ben Ruby, Eve Jeffers, Beverly D'Angelo with Kevin McNally and Gary Busey. And the movie is kind of actually interesting because this is one of those rare occasions where, see, the movie's based off of a comic book. And the comic book is pretty much created by Jason Dodson, illustrated by Henry Sane. And the movie, the story is by Jason Dodson, and Dodson and Sane both, co-wrote the screenplay, and Henry Sane directed the movie. So this is one of those rare instances where, aside from something like Frank Miller, with Sin City, it's like one of the few times where the creators of the comic book were responsible for making the movie. Now, this movie, it's a lot of fun, it's a lot of action, a lot of gore. I will say though, this character here, his name is Caddy. Oh, this guy really gets on my nerves. I'm sorry. This is the one character. I mean, he got better as the movie went on, but in the beginning of the movie, it's like this guy drove me up the freaking wall. Like he just irritated me, pissed me off to no end. But your main two characters in this movie, right here, you have the Drifter, and you have Mary Death, and the story is it's pretty simple. It's not too hard to follow. Um, Basically, it's in the near future, and now it's a post-apocalyptic world. The whole world's a wasteland, all this other kind of stuff. And the whole world comes to ruins and everything else. And the reason why is because of these big business CEO, captains of industry types. They're ruining everything. They destroyed the world, and everything else. So now what they have called bounty killers, they're hired and they're paid bounty to go and find these, business types, these CEO types and everything else. And they're supposed to kill them and bring them back, and they, reward money and stuff like that. And so, your two biggest ones here, you got Drifter and you got Mary Death. And I will say though, Mary Death is one of the more interesting female characters I've seen in an action movie in a long time. Um, she's not, she's not what you would call like nowadays. A lot of people use the term Mary Sue when they describe a lot of female lead characters in movies nowadays. I mean, especially stuff like the new Star Wars movies with the characters of like Rey and Jen Erso, or you got like Captain Marvel or something like that. They describe these characters. They call them Mary Sues, and what a Mary Sue is, for those who don't know, is a Mary Sue is basically like a character, a female character who they're never in any danger. There's no suspense, no matter what situation arises. They always handle it with very little effort at all. There's nothing is ever a challenge to them. The character is never in any real danger or anything like that. They can always handle everything. And the character Mary Death, no, there are moments in this movie where she does get in over her head. And there are moments where, you know, she's badass, she's awesome, she looks great, she's super sexy, super hot, got a great sense of style, she drives an awesome muscle car and all this other kind of stuff. But there are moments in the movie where she gets in over her head, and she has to reach out to friends and everything else, and she needs help, so she does have to ask for help every once in a great while. So yeah, I mean, her character is not a Mary Sue type of character. There are moments, her character does have to take a beating in this movie once in a while, and that's, so I mean, you know, and that's it. I would say for a female lead, she's a lot more relatable. She's a lot, she's interesting. She's fun to watch and everything else. And real quick, as you can see, there's Kristen Petrie as Mary Death. Oh, by the way, I didn't pay $4.99 for the Blu-ray. I got it at a pawn shop. They were, it was a deal. Get six, you get them for $2 each. So I'm sure you really want to know that information. But anyway, though, just saying, I only paid $2 for this, but it was definitely worth the $2 for this movie. So, but anyway, though, what I was going back to what I was saying, actually really interesting is let me show you a comparison of the comic book character with Kristen Petrie, and you're gonna find out it's a very good likeness. She looks very, very much like the character, and I mean, she doesn't have the white streaks in her hair, but she's got the dress on, and she's got the she's got the outfit and everything else, and she's got the look. So yeah, she very much fits the character. So I'm very surprised. I'm very pleasantly pleased with the way they made her look so much like the comic book character. So anyway, so at the beginning of our movie, we have the drifter, and he's bringing a bounty into this town. And so when he comes into the town, everybody's, oh hey, the drifter's here, the drifter's here, great, great. And then the character of Caddy, who I mentioned, the one I said is like really, really annoying. He's talking to this man, talking about like, yeah, you guys are losers, and I'm not a loser, I'm a winner, and what am I doing here, wasting my time in this worthless town? I could be, helping these bounty killers and stuff like that. I could be a caddy for them. I could, help them with their ammo. I can help them, carry their guns. I can help them forage for supplies. I can help them do all these things and stuff. What am I doing here, wasting my time on you guys and all this other kind of stuff? And so, so he goes and he's like trying to, he's trying to get Drifter to give him a job as a caddy to help him out. And as they're talking and stuff, Mary Death, she pulls up in her muscle car, and where Drifter has like one dead body, she's got like several. And so, to everybody, Mary Death is the real hero, and she's kind of the real celebrity when it comes to, if there was a celebrity for the bounty killers and stuff like that, it's like Mary Death would definitely be on the top of the list. And so we kind of realize that her and Drifter, yeah, they're kind of at odds with each other, and they actually have a history, and that they were lovers at one point, and that Drifter took Mary under his wing and basically kind of trained her how to be an assassin and stuff like that, and he broke off their relationship and everything. And so kind of like her way of getting back at him is she's going to basically beat him out by being more popular than he is, and kind of basically it's she's going to end up becoming the number one bounty killer, and she's going to take out all the competition. And she's, from the looks of it, she's doing a pretty damn good job. Well, so next thing we find out that, well, they get, a bounty comes up, and that the two of them, they have to go out and they have to try to get this bounty. So they're off and everything else. And there's another picture there of Kristen Petrie as Mary Death. Like I said, I think she looks very much like the character. I think they did a good job casting her. Anyway, so our characters are going out, and they're so they're kind of doing these little things, trying to keep one or the other from getting the bounty and all that stuff. Sorry, my throat's dry. So anyway, it comes out. It's revealed that Drifter has been holding back a secret for the longest time, and he's been holding back the secret that he was one of these captains of industry at one time. He was like a businessman. He was a CEO and all this other kind of stuff. And he was not happy with the fact that, these businessmen and businesswomen, that they were destroying the world, and they were taking everybody down and all this other kind of stuff. And he wanted no part of that. He wanted to get out of the whole life, and he wanted to just, be a normal guy. And he ended up hating them for what they did. So he decided that he would get revenge on them. And basically he would turn into one of these bounty killers, and, he would go out and he would take them out and, try to be the best one at it. So, yeah. And, but Mary Death here, she ends up discovering his secret. So they get to this village, and there's pretty much like a shootout and all this other kind of stuff. And, like I said, Mary Death, she discovers who Drifter really is, and she's going to take him down, and he's trying to get her to listen to him. She doesn't want to listen to him. She's, had enough of his bullshit, and she just, wants to take him down. Well, meanwhile, Caddy, who for the most part, this guy's just falling all over the place, having the guns go off, just always making like one mistake after another. So anyway, he decides he's going to stop Mary Death from taking Drifter by ending up, he ends up planting like a bomb on her car. So her car, they're chasing and everything else. Drifter's trying to get away and everything else. And Mary, she's chasing after him. There's a shootout, all this other kind of stuff, and the bomb goes off. Her car is destroyed. She has no more weapons and everything else. So Drifter and Caddy, they pretty much get away, but then they're captured by these kind of like cannibals and savages and stuff like that. And they find out that they're going to be killed and everything else. And so at one point, they're able to get loose. And, there's this, great chase scene. And, they take this pretty much it's like a motorcycle with a trailer and they're trying to get away. And, all these, all these savages are chasing after them. And there's blood and gore. People are getting shot. People are getting blown up and impaled and all that good fun stuff. And so yeah, that's an awesome fun scene to watch. Like I said, a lot of blood, and a lot of gore, and finally the character of Caddy starts to become more handy. And meanwhile, you got Mary Death here. Like I said, she doesn't always have everything handed to her in this movie. Her car is destroyed. She has no more ammunition or any of that kind of stuff. And so she's walking along, and she remembers this friend of hers, so she has to reach out to a friend and ask her for help. And the friend is played by Beverly D'Angelo. We all remember Ellen Griswold from the vacation movies and stuff. And so, she's talking about like, yeah, I'm pissed at Drifter, because of the shit he's pulled, but at the same time, I'm still kind of in love with him and all this other kind of stuff. But she sets, Beverly D'Angelo, she sets her up, and Mary Death is on her way again. She's out, she's going to go get her bounty and everything. And Drifter and Caddy, they find a 6-pack of beer. And it turns out that Drifter knows a guy who could help him out with, a car. And so, they go to this friend and everything else. And it turns out the guy, I'm always going to remember this, he's a character actor. He's been in a lot of movies. He's been like Open Range. He's been in lots of movies and television shows. I'll always remember him from Parker Lewis Can't Lose. He played the character Kubiak, and his one line was always like, Kubiak, eat now. So he's this big guy. He's always mean looking and stuff, but he's always like, but he's kind of like a big man child kind of a thing. He's a Kubiak, eat now. Anyway, so they give him the beer, and so he's taking them where they want to go and stuff. And, at one point, looks like Mary Death is going to catch up to him. She's going to get Drifter, and they end up getting ambushed. And it turns out that Christina Locken's character, she was a lover of Drifter's at one point back when he was a CEO businessman. Well, she, recruits Gary Busey to help, find Drifter and everything. So they all get ambushed and stuff like that. And, they take Drifter away, and the idea is take him and they're going to kill everybody else. But then there's, a lot of fighting and stuff like that. People getting killed, all kinds of, action and blood and gore and carnage and stuff like that. And so, you hit that kind of moment in some of these movies where it seems like, all is lost now. And so we find out that, everybody's still, yeah, this is Kristen Petrie too. So, but anyway, so they realize that Mary Death wants to go save him, and she realizes that he's no longer the guy that he was. And so they all just, and Caddy wants to go save Drifter and everything. So pretty much, the few friends that they got left, they all pull together. And so you got that scene where Drifter, he's sitting in this big office, and Christina Locken's character is talking about like, she's talking about, you were with us at one point, and, you need to come back to us. And remember, we were lovers. Remember, we were together and all this kind of stuff. And he's, being defiant and, yeah, we're never going to be together. And I don't want to do this. I want it out of this life. That's why I became a bounty killer and so on and so forth. And so she's like, you and I, we could merge together and we could, make the world what we want it to be. And pretty much we could rule and all this other kind of stuff. And basically, like Mary Death, she comes in, guns a-blazing, the other friends, Caddy, everybody comes in, and, there's a big shootout, and pretty much it's a bloodbath. It's like these corporate types. I mean, they're not, some of them can defend themselves. They're fighting there's shootouts, there's this and that, and so they go and they cut Drifter loose, and he decides he's going to fight with them, and all this other kind of stuff, and so they're fighting and all this stuff, and um, yeah, it's like I won't give too much away. It's like, I think I've given away quite a bit of it already, but ultimately, it's like they're kind of building them up as these superhero types, and you know, so well, okay, I'll go ahead and may as well say a spoiler. They pretty much they take down all the CEO characters. Yeah, they save the day, pretty much. And we think that Drifter and Mary Death that they're going to resume their relationship and everything else. And at one point, they're making love and all this kind of stuff. And then she ended up, you hear him screaming, "Oh, she stabbed me! She stabbed me!" You see Mary Death strutting, looking, gorgeous as ever. She gets in her car. And she's like, "Come on, chase me, old man!" And so, he's driving, she's driving off, and so he's going to go after her, and that's pretty much where the movie ends. So, so yeah, sorry if I gave it all away, but anyway, though, this is really a fun movie. I mean, it's like I said, you got a lot of shootouts, you got a lot of gore, you got some interesting, like there's the chasing with the trailer and stuff, and you got some good likable characters. You have a fun female lead that you can get behind, and she's relatable, she's cool, fun to watch, and everything else. So yeah, I mean, I recommend this movie. It's a lot of fun. I really had a good time with this. Like I said, yeah, Caddy at the beginning, he was kind of annoying because he's one of those kind of characters. So like like if you tell him to do something or you tell him not to do something, he will do the exact opposite of what you tell him to do. So you say, yeah, don't make a lot of noise. We gotta be quiet, and he'll be, why we gotta be quiet? So it's just yeah, he was my one gripe about the movie, but even as the movie progressed, he got better, so got to where he didn't bother me as much. But honestly, yeah, I mean, you got some great eye candy here. The movie's a lot of fun, a lot of action. So I say check it out. I mean, it's like I said, I only paid $2 for this Blu-ray, but it was very much worth the $2. I could see myself watching this again. It's just a fun 90 minutes. It's as a matter of fact, how long? Yes, 93 minutes, but it does run at a good pace. So, the movie never drags. It seems like it's always going, it's always going steady. So, yeah, it's never a problem. So, I definitely say, Bounty Killer, give it a shot. I think you really, really like it. I did. So anyway, that's going to pretty much do it. We talked about Bounty Killer. If anybody took the time to watch this video, I thank you for doing it, and I appreciate you for doing it. I honestly hope you enjoyed the video, and well, I think Kristen here too. She probably appreciates you for watching as well. I don't know why that just popped into my head to do that. Anyway, honestly, yeah, if you enjoyed the video, I hope you did. If you did, please like and subscribe. I do movie reviews. I do, shelf by shelves in my movie library, haul videos. I got, some stuff I want to work on. So hopefully, be fun and entertaining, good videos for you to enjoy. So yeah, please come back and hopefully we'll have a good time. So this is Sinema77, horror and cult film lover, and I thank you again for watching. Take care, have a good night, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.